I have 60 days, if I'm to finish before Christmas, to walk the length of the Texas-Mexico border from El Paso to Brownsville. That's over 1,000 miles. After 20 years as a naturalist at the same job, with retirement only 5 years away, I tendered a letter of resignation and planned a walk that many people thought I would not survive. I had taken on so many responsibilities at work that I went from enjoying my career to hating life. My father had been there before me. He worked on the railroad for decades with only a few years left to reach full retirement, until he couldn't take it anymore and had a nervous breakdown. Dad worked through his issues in a hospital. I'll work through mine on the border. In the coming weeks, there will be hundreds of hours of solo trek time to experience a new world and to figure out my place in the one I left behind.
This symbolic idea of the threatened border has become a way of expressing anxiety because of rapid, highly uncertain change in the world. We live in an era of economic and political and also demographic anxieties, and the border kind of captures all that negative energy, unfortunately, because it's not a very negative place at all. It's actually growing, it's culturally rich, it's dynamic, it's a place sort of where a lot of the Latino future is emerging. And so it's ironic that it's capturing all this anxiety, but maybe it is not totally strange, because maybe it is anxiety about the future. So those of us who are here kind of feel like we're on the road toward this culturally rich and economically vibrant future, and other people are anxious about that same change.
I grew up in Fort Hancock, and it's a very small town, but I was separated from the community. I live in a small farm, so it was just me and my family. It was just my dad, my mom, my brother, and my sister. My grandpa started our farm with my dad's two brothers. They used to work in the onion fields in Deming, New Mexico, and they could have started a farm over there where there was plenty of water and the land was great, but no, they decided they wanted to go to Fort Hancock. Right now, the situation is real hard for farmers around here because there's no water. And especially for our farm, since it's a small farm, we don't have enough money sometimes to pay for the water. We would plant a few acres of cotton, and it went real well one year, but then the following year, I believe it was in 2013, when there was no water to irrigate, so my dad said, well, we have to find another solution, we have to do something else. So my dad decided to go into goat farming. Along the border, there is a lot of border security, especially in our town because it's so close to the border. To me, it feels like they're always there. They're always there to protect us, but sometimes it just goes overboard when they just stop any car that goes by, and you feel like it's kind of a discrimination, or you're being separated for being a Mexican there in our town, for being Hispanic, Latino. They judge you just by your looks, so they stop you for that reason. And I think that's one of the main things that is hurtful to anyone that is stopped by the Border Patrol. One afternoon, me and my mom were walking down the street, and the Border Patrol zooms past us in their vehicle, and we're like, oh, okay, we didn't get stopped this time. So we continue walking and chatting, and then the Border Patrol comes back around, and then they ask us, so what are you doing? Where are you from? Where are you walking to? Since we're Hispanics, that's the reason they stopped us. Because many times they'll see like any Caucasian person, or they would just let them go because they wouldn't think that they would be crossing the border. But as a Hispanic, they will stop you and they will ask you questions.